Welcome to Level Up Tribes. Level Up Tribes provides resources to help you attain the necessary resources to level up your mind, body, and soul and realize your full potential. It is about exploring, learning, providing you with the tools from the experts for you to create a better version of yourself. I am your host, Agnes Goodwine, and welcome, Tribes. Morning.
Good morning.
I didn't know too much about quantum physics until 2006. I saw a documentary called What the Bleep Down the Rabbit Hole.
Yep.
And so I was like, what is this? What am I watching? But over the years, that has grown.
Yeah.
You learn something that's really big. You don't understand it.
Then you start seeing it.
Yes.
You're like, wait a minute, that just happened. Oh, wait a minute, I just thought of that person. Here they are. Yeah.
Right.
It's really cool when you open up to it and you get introduced to it. Then it starts happening more and more, and then you can't just say, oh, what a coincidence. It's not a coincidence anymore. This is how the universe works. And that's all part of the training I do. That's the number of hours we spend on just talking about how it actually works. The act of observation changes the outcome of an experiment. Yeah, we should just start.
I know.
I can already tell you and I could just get off for an hour and and you'll be, oh shit, I should have recorded that. I'm like, yeah, I know. I've done enough of these now to know better,
Yes. Welcome to Level Up Tribes podcast, Dr. T. I'm super excited to have you and share your story with my audience here at Level Up Tribes. Dr. T has transformed the health and wealth and well-being of thousands of people and animals using focus, intention, angels, and quantum physics. Dr. T holds a Doctor of Chiropractic degree, a Bachelor of Science degree in human biology, and holds various therapeutic certifications. He's here today to talk about his story, services, and all about health and wellness and quantum physics. I love that topic so much because I'm still learning about it. So expounding on your story, I've heard a few podcasts that you've been on, and I learned that you had issues with chronic pain. And so you kind of took life, what I call by the cojones, and said, you know what, this is the direction that I'm going to. I'm going to heal myself. I'm going to find the information and the tools that I need because something just doesn't feel right, and I'm going to heal myself. So start to where your life pivoted.
Well, I wish I could agree with you on all of that. Thanks so much for having me, by the way.
Yeah.
But it was I was in a dark hole. I was in a place of, I wish I was as brave as you make me sound, but I wasn't. I wasn't. Yeah. I was going down the road of I didn't want to be here anymore. That's how much pain I was in. It had been in so much pain for so long. I grew up on a farm and I got injured a number of times on the farm, baling hay, and I remember the worst time a bucket failed. This is a big loader bucket on a tractor failed. The hydraulics failed, and I had a coworker was underneath of it, and I kind of grabbed it, tried to stop it so it wouldn't smash him, and just blew all the discs out of my low back. I just was in 10 of 10 pain all the time, and I literally had considered ending it. I mean, that's where I was. I'm just going to tell you the truth. And it was that bad. And a long story short, I had a girlfriend at the time, and she wanted to become a chiropractor or an acupuncturist. And we were leaving town, and we were leaving to go to Yosemite to go hiking. And I just remember being like, okay, we get back from this trip. I got to tell her we can't, don't want to be in a relationship with her anymore. And I got to figure this out. Probably, I literally was, I don't even like to use the word or even think about it, but I was done. I was in so damn much pain for so many years that I just was tired and done. And she says on the way, as we were literally leaving town, she says, hey, there's a health fair down the street. I want to swing by there and just see who's out there. And I'm like, oh God, health fair. Oh. So I gave in, and we went to this health fair, and everybody's out there promoting their goods. And they're walking up and pinching your scalene muscles. Does that hurt? Well, of course it hurts. I mean, come on, and there's all these, everyone promoting their stuff, and I get it. Everyone wants patients and this sort of thing. This is a long time ago now. This is, when was this? 1995, I think. Anyhow, there was one guy behind the curtain, and I'm thinking Wizard of Oz, right? And so I could see he was doing muscle testing, and I knew about all that stuff because I'd been to everyone. I'd been everybody and everything. And I got in line, and sure enough, I go behind the curtain. I'm like, okay, here we go. Muscle test me. Tell me what I need nutritionally. And he says, no, no, no. What the heck's going on? I says, well, I'm just about ready to put a gun to my head and shoot myself. I'm in 10 of 10 pain. I pee my pants at times if I laugh too hard. I can poop my pants if I sneeze. I can't feel anything below my waist. I can barely walk. I certainly can't run very long. 20, what was I, 27, 28 years old. And, just,
Wow.
yeah, it was horrible, horrible. And he pushed on a couple of things around my intestines. He said, here, lie on your side here. It puts me on my side, and he digs into my gastrointestinal tract basically and has me move my leg behind me. And he strips me, and it hurts. I mean, it's so painful. And he got done, and I got up. I was like, oh, the lights came on, and this is no bullshit. The lights came on, the angels sung, and I floated around that room. It was a big
Wow.
auditorium. I floated around it. I was like, oh my God, I mean, it's like 10 years gone. And I came
Whoa.
back to him. I said, what the hell was that? He said, well, you had a muscle that was so locked on your autonomic chain, it was cutting all the nerve flow down to your lower body. And so it was causing pain because some of the nerves above it were over firing, and the nerves below it were getting no energy. He was a chiropractor, and I started seeing him. I saw him for about 4 months or so, and he got rid of all of them. He only did that move to me one or two more times, and then he was using other chiropractic style techniques, not chiropractic per se, but kind of on the fringe of chiropractic. And he says to me, he says, Tony, you had 6 jobs in the last 4 months. You're a curious cat. You figure these things out, and you're sick of doing it. I'm like, yeah, I know. I kind of miss my police and fire 911 operator job. That was my job before I got to see him. And that job, you're changing everything all the time. Every day is a different excitement. And so I quit that job, and I was doing different things. And he's like, well, the only thing you'll never figure out is the human body. And I was like, yeah. He said, if I were you, if you want my advice, go take a massage course and just start there. Just start investigating it. You don't have to become a doctor, but you'll never figure out the human condition.
Mm.
And those words always stuck with me. And Victor's out there somewhere. He changed my life. He saved my life. I don't know how much longer I was going to be able to go on. And since that time, I've done nothing but looking and seeking and trying to find what's going to work for people.
Yes, I love that. And it was the psoas muscle.
Yes, it was. Yep. Very good. And there's a few other muscles right along the spine, the multifidii. There's a couple other muscles in there that right against the spine itself that were all just in a state of spasm from having giant weight fall on my body. It's funny when I finally, so years go, a couple of years go by, I do massage and I do some other things. I had a bone that wasn't healing my hand. I had broken my wrist, and there was a bone in my hand that wasn't healing. And so I saw on the way home from the orthopedist, he was like, hey, we're going to have to do a major surgery if this doesn't heal in the next 10 days or so. And I found a book on the side of the road of self-hypnosis.
Mm-hmm.
And so I took it home, and it had a program in there, how you do a script, and then you do the actual, so you do an induction, then you do, okay, this is what you want blood flow into this bone. You want this gone, that gone. If you quit smoking, you want this. You want to, don't want this, you do that. And anyhow, I made a cassette recording of it. And 10 days later, I went back, and that bone was completely healed after 4 months of it dying. So
Wow.
that opened my mind up to the power of the mind and not just the physical aspect.
Yes.
So that's kind of where all of that started, was there. And then, of course, in chiropractic school, my first trimester, you get a full body x-ray. And I'll never forget, I forget his name, but I'll never forget when he pulled my x-ray out. He picks it up, puts it up on the machine. He goes, well, this person can barely stand. They can barely walk. They can hardly talk. Look at here. He's got no disc spaces at all between L2, L3, L3, L4, L4, L5. It looks fused. He's like, this person fused. Who the hell is this? Cahill, where are you? I'm so, oh, I'm right here, He's like, man, how are you even standing? I said, well, I don't know, but I'm getting ready to go play a game of basketball, as soon as this class is over. And that's the human body. You take an x-ray of my spine, there's no disc space. Most people like him, he's like, this person can't walk, can't talk. No, that's the human body. Now, I
Yes.
can't do certain side-to-side motions or I'll wake up in pain. There's certain side-to-side motions that hurt me. But for
Yeah.
the most part, I'm pretty good at basketball still. I play disc golf every chance I get. I love to hike mountains. I love to go hike, I love to swim, love to
Mm-hmm.
do all these things. And the body can heal itself, even with some of
Yeah.
these crazy things. And
Yes, I do
so,
believe it. And
yeah,
you to go back to your pain level at that time, when you're in chronic pain, there's so much anger, right? You're latching out. Someone told me once the issues are in the tissues and our bodies are holding all of that. So,
absolutely. And I from the beginning, I started seeking out all the techniques that would help with that.
yeah,
And so I don't know, emotional techniques, a million of them. I looked at so many of
yeah,
them, including hypnosis. I became a certified clinical hypnotherapist. That's a 2-year program. And I still love hypnosis. I love meditation. I love hypnosis. All those
yes,
mind body things really help us. Um, in the course I'm teaching, I've taken all that stuff and narrowed it down into I think it's a really powerful emotional treatment that we look at the affect of the emotion, like grief, for example. We talked earlier just for a moment about losing a pet. And most people think, oh, I lost a pet, it's okay, and then I'll go, well, what was the name of the pet? Bring back to mind that pet. Remember when so and so died? Remember, what did that feel? And most people go, oh, it's right here in my tummy. They actually feel it. And
yeah,
what I go after in my class, that's what I teach you in the class, is how to go after that level of physical pain. Because
yes,
if you experience an emotion like you lost your dog, if I pushed you with your dog and remembering it, if you feel that in the body, that's not good. That causes dis-ease. Now you're
yes,
always going to be sad when you think about her and you remember, my father just passed away 2 weeks ago. And it was a slow, drawn out ordeal. And so I dealt with, we looked at all of it and we dealt with all of it. And I think about my dad being gone. I'm sad, but I don't feel it in my body. That's the difference. And that's the difference between like what we're doing in most modalities is, and I am not knocking other modalities. There's all of them, emotional freedom technique, there's neuroemotional technique, there's PA, there's all kinds of stuff out there. And they do work. I just don't see them do this, what I'm talking about.
yeah,
Because we did it today on these calls I'm doing, the show and tell calls. We are doing that. And
yes,
we're seeing people, oh, it's right here. It's right here in my heart. It's right here in my gut. If and we did one for global treatment, where it's already happening in the universe, and when someone thinks about it, they feel it. Now,
mm,
that's pretty wild that we can actually
yes.
address that concept.
So
So,
let
and
me
if we
ask,
have time, I'll show you. If we have time, I'll demonstrate that to you. If we have time, I'll show you. It's the thing with me is I'm not afraid to show you this anywhere, because my class is all about teaching you how to do this remotely.
yeah.
I
So
teach you
are
how
you
to,
talking about the TNT
yes,
technique?
yes.
Can you explain what the TNT stands for? Because I know you have a workshop coming up right here in Arizona.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's the time. It's the 24th, 25th, 26th of March. It stands for TNT, stands for Total Knowledge Technique. It's a joke. Uh, 20 years ago, after another seminar with a doctor who came through the class, we were having conversation we were having a conversation in the bar, and he was like, we were just exchanging ideas. And I was like, well, I think this is what's happening here. And hey, an organ has gone out of the body. I think the body still remembers it. Maybe we can reintroduce that. I was just telling him some stuff, and we were exchanging ideas. He's like, man,
yeah.
oh, that's so cool. You should teach that. And I said, well, I don't know. I don't think there's enough here to teach yet. I said, and if I was going to teach it, what the hell would I call it? He said, call it TNT. It's like dynamite.
Oh, I love that.
And so when it was time to actually name it and actually start teaching, um, I remembered that conversation with him, and he has
Yeah.
since come down and taken it. He's on the website. He does a testimonial. He's the old guy. He's been in practice for 40 some odd years, and
Yes.
listen to his testimonial. I think you will want to come and check this out. It's really unbelievable what we've been able to capture and replicate and basically
Okay.
pass on in a manner that's very understandable.
So this is something that you can do remotely.
Absolutely.
How long does it take?
What, to learn it remotely?
Well, you say you show me, so show us, right? For those that are listening and are going to view it, because I will post this on YouTube in the future. Like, what does that look like?
Okay, so well, for example, for you,
Yeah,
I would have you, and you're fine with this, right? We talked
yeah,
a moment about your dog and everything. So I would have you
yeah.
close your eyes. I'd have you close
Okay,
your eyes. take a breath in and really just relax into that chair. Just relax your mind and body for a moment. And then let's bring to mind Bella for a second, that little tiny dog that ruled the house, that ran around the house. And then, I love that, your story about, and so here you are in joy, but now bring to mind the heartache when she died. Bring to mind the
Mm.
loss. Bring to mind the grief, the sadness that you experienced, the tears. I mean, a dog, we love our dogs. They love us. And especially a little shit that rules the house and is gone. It's really just, there's a space there that just really hurts. And do you feel that in your body? Do you feel it in tissue or don't you?
I'll say like my heart.
Okay. Now, here's another one for you. Here's a different one. Close your eyes again. Here's a different one. This is one that I showed on the show and tell today. And you're driving from your house down the street to the local 7-Eleven because you forgot sugar. You're making cookies, right? Woo, woo, woo. Cop car pulls up behind you. Yeah, blue and red lights. Loudspeaker, pull it over. Excuse me, pull it over, please. Yeah, pull it over right there. Stop for that stop. Excuse me, man. Yeah, did you see you rolled through that stop sign back there? Yeah, you did the California stop. You know what California stop is, don't you? Now, where are you feeling that at?
I
Every,
actually, yeah, I did.
everywhere,
Yes,
everywhere. Yeah.
yes.
So which one?
Even my lips
Your
started
mouth.
shaking.
Yeah, because you have all your tongue is full of nerve endings. Your entire body lit up. That's what I'm seeing. In fact, here's
Yeah,
the angels. Here's what the angels do to me. They arc because even bringing it to your mind, your dura mater is just releasing stress, going, oh my God, I can't believe I'm
yeah,
getting stopped. Only stopping for a split second.
yeah.
So I'm going to ask you to go back here for a moment. So close your eyes. Yeah, you forgot sugar. So you're going to drive down the street. Woo, 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 woo. Now I do that just to stir it up in you. And you can just imagine it. Excuse me, ma'am. Could you just please step out of the car? Step out of the car for what? You rolled through a red light. What do you want me out of the car for? You rolled through a stop sign. How dare you? What are you doing out here in this? It's 8 o'clock at night. What are you doing out here? Excuse me. Can I see your license, driver's license, registration? You have insurance on this. I couldn't see into your back window either. What are you doing out here this evening? Have you got, what's your name? Where are you going? Now I talk to you like this because it stirs it up. What I'm doing is holding space for angels. And they clean that
Mm.
first part out of you. And I'm going to ask you to take a small breath in. And in your mind, you're going to say, I see all of that. I recognize it. I release it as you breathe out. You're going to do that one more time. So I need your power for this. So you small breath in. I see all of that. I recognize what this is. I release it. As you breathe out, just see it leave in your mind. And I need your intention for this because it works better this way. But now I want you to bring to mind what it feels like sitting in that chair, being completely assured and certain and confident. It's not going to fall down. Yeah, that's all you need.
My posture changed.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
feel
So,
like my spine got longer.
yeah. So I'm going to take you to this next level. So just what does it feel like? Just imagine. It's crazy. So I'm here doing what I do. I teach you with my hands. And so just bring to mind what it feels like in that chair for another moment and being assured and certain and confident it's not going to collapse. What does that safety feel like? And then look at how quiet everything's getting. Just like you said, your whole body changes right away because this is a vibration. What these angels do for this particular treatment is they get rid of the distortion created by imagination and stuff that you've seen. Have you ever been stopped
Yeah,
by a police? Have you ever been stopped by a police officer? Okay.
yes. I
Okay.
did. I stopped, and it was actually, I used to work for the police department, and it was actually a police officer that I knew. He was just being an ass, and he intentionally pulled me over and even had his hand on the gun. And I said, hey, what are you doing? Like, you know me. Why do you have your hands on your gun? And he was just egotistical at that moment. I don't know. He had his own issues. He ended up getting fired like a year or so later. But that's where my mind went to when you took me to that scenario.
So you've had an actual experience. And hey, I'm not against police. There's good cops, there's bad
Not
cops.
either. Yeah.
But here you are, you're somebody who, has had, you're in public service. So for the most part, you don't have any reason to be afraid of police, but collectively, especially Black people, brown people,
Yes. Yes.
have that because we've watched what we've watched the last most of our lives. So let's do this. Close your eyes again. You forget that sugar. You got to drive down to 7-Eleven. It's 8 o'clock at night. Pull it over, lady. What do you think you're doing out here? Can you put your hands on the put your hands on the door here so I can see your hands, please? Actually, you need to step out of the car. Yeah, you need to step out of the car. Do you still feel that in your body?
No,
So hard to reach. So let me
no.
try this one. I want to make sure I get this. So close your eyes again and go back to that incident with the cop, with the one that you knew. Hey, what's going on there? Could you step out of your car? Hey, what are your hands on your gun for? Well, you never know you never know what you might be doing in there. Do you feel that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a
Yes.
little bit. Yeah. So stay with that for just a moment. Bring that back to your mind. Yeah, you get stopped. He's got his hand on his gun. What the hell you got your hand on your gun for? And yeah, he ends up getting fired. But right now he's got his hand on his gun. What are you doing that for? There's nothing. You know me. What's going on here? Oh, hold on now. I know you, but let me see your license. Let me see your registration. Let me see your stuff. Give me your papers. Yeah, there it is right there. And then you're going to take a small breath in. I see it, I recognize it, I release the entire incident. As you breathe out, see it leave. Now you're using intention to help the angels here. And now remind yourself what it feels like sitting in that chair. Yeah, that resiliency of it, being assured and certain and confident, having being safe, the safety of the chair. Yep,
Oh,
that
that was lovely.
yeah, it's
Interesting
that's
because my entire body, my posture changed. I felt this huge confidence in the way that I was sitting, the way my energy felt. I just felt this like confidence. My shoulders rolled down, my chest kind of opened up.
Yep, and what's happening is I have to talk a little bit, so I have this is all scripted. This is what I teach you. I have it all written out because you have to talk, otherwise your mind will do what the mind does, and that's when well, I wonder who's on my podcast tomorrow. So I have to kind of keep you around these positive words. But what's happening is I'm sitting here holding this vibration of these angels, and they do all that.
Yeah,
They clear out past events, they clear up distortions that are created by this stuff, they soothe our distress, they remind us of our beauty and
yeah,
confidence. They do all these things that we define, and that's what me, the practitioner, is doing, and that's what I teach. I'm just sitting here. I've been doing this now nonstop for 12 days, I think, 10, 12-hour days. I just got off the phone with 25 people. We did it for almost 3 hours. And it's still not a problem because you're just using intention to have these angels
yeah,
do things for us. So they're
yes.
here to serve us.
Are your Zoom calls, are they free or is there a membership or
They're free. Yeah, they're
they are?
absolutely free. Yeah, and we're promoting. I'm doing. Of course, I always like. I'm a big joker. I love to joke. I love to play. That's what I do. I tried to be a comedian. I just wasn't that funny, so I became a doctor. Um, but it's all on the website. It's ahumanengineer.com. And it's A as an Adam, human, one word, engineer, all one word, a human engineer. That's my moniker, and it's .com, and it's show and tell. We call it show and tell because I actually show you. Sometimes I reverse it. I'll tell you about it, and then I'll show you. But like I said, I was mentioning to you before we started, I think we had 25, 30 people on there this morning, and we had, I don't know, 4 or 5. I don't know what else you call them. Miracles. People have
Yes.
a hard time with that word, but what do you call it when someone let's see, the hernia. He had a hernia operation with the screen, and he's 9 to 10 pain for 6 months, and it's 100% gone. But I don't know
Mm.
what you call that, and that's in about 2 minutes. I
Yes.
I gotta call it a miracle,
Yes.
especially for a man having an inguinal hernia that's not healing and is painful.
Yeah.
That's a miracle. That's a life change.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I said, well, how many times have you gone back to the doctor? 10. Let me tell you, he's told you this, that, this, and that. He says, yeah, how'd you know? This is because they just don't understand. When you cut the body, there's a number of things that happen. And so we went after all of that stuff. And you ever have a paper cut that wouldn't heal?
Yes.
That drives you nuts. It's just like, what the? All I did was open another Christmas card from mom, and I got a paper cut. And everyone out there who's listening has had this happen, and I know why, and I teach you why, and I teach you why his scar wouldn't heal. I teach you how
Yeah.
to not only fix that scar, but also what happens when something's in pain for 8 months. It sends
Yeah.
a signal to the brain that you'll have pain anytime you move, and we just bring angels in and change that vibration. Gone right now.
Well, do you have time to explain? And I know it's a lot to explain, but what quantum means, quantum energy, quantum physics. Can you explain that to people that never heard of it?
Well, we are doing applied quantum mechanics. That's like the backbone of what it is that we do.
Mhm.
So quantum mechanics, I think, explains consciousness. And so these are all theories. I've just broken it down how I can explain it. And
Yeah.
that is this. You think of somebody who you care about, who you haven't talked to in years, and they call you. You see them the next day. Or you see somebody who just saw them and they say, hey, that person mentioned you yesterday. You know, we have
Mhm.
this happen everyone listening has had this happen. The other thing everyone has had happen is everyone has had an angelic experience, whether it's you missed a car accident, or you somehow made a plane that was the plane got delayed because of something, and somehow you got to somewhere you were going because something interfered. And of course, everyone listening has had that happen, whether it's
Mhm.
saved their life or allowed them to do something. Everyone who's had that has all dismissed it as a coincidence.
Yeah.
And we do that as humans because we haven't seen it. We don't see it. So seeing is believing. And so that's why I'm doing these calls. And that's a moniker of this class I'm doing, because in the first hour of this class, everyone gets to see a miracle. I show everyone, not that I do, that someone who has never done a miracle, somebody like you,
Yeah.
treats somebody on the other side of the room, and we have a miracle in the first hour, because I want to show right away how this knowledge is passed on. I'm not going to get into that. It's too long, but I'm able to literally download this. It's like a Spock mind meld. I plug it
Yeah.
into you and you have full access, more so than you do now. You can gain, everybody has access to the angelic realm. This is just a different level of awareness of it. So when you see this miracle the first hour, everyone says the same thing. They all kind of look dazed. They go, really? It's gone?
Yeah.
And no one can believe it. And then we do it again and we do it again. Pretty soon seeing becomes belief, and
Yes.
belief then becomes faith. And faith is where I try to take you to over these 3 days. And
Okay.
faith is the idea that quantum mechanics and consciousness are one and the same. So we access consciousness to find out what's going on inside in somebody. Like with you, I just did 2 tests. She tapped into the whole field of people being stopped by police. Yeah, I knew right
Yeah.
away you were going to feel it in your whole
Yeah.
body. You can't see my hands. I'm using my hands to do that. And I teach you all this stuff in the class. But quantum mechanics is the idea that when we look at something, we change it.
Mm.
And it's also the idea so you can't, all these experiments out there, if you have somebody being paid by a company to study something, is that going to affect the experiment? Absolutely, because the act of observation changes the outcome of an experiment.
Yes.
So with observation, we're able to look at something that we've determined has gone haywire in the body, and using angels, they come in and they follow our observation, and they make the change. They introduce the stimulus that produces a different outcome. So it's really the kind of, quantum mechanics is the idea that everything is moving all the time. Tension changes intention, and focus, observation changes intention drives the universe.
Yeah.
So that and the idea of observation, between those two, we combine those, and then we add in the angels. That's kind of how this whole thing operates. So quantum mechanics, stripped down, is just the idea that even that table in front of you is moving, that there's tons of air in there, that everything is vibrating in the world. Everything is vibrating. Even this computer, this looks solid to me, but no, it's vibrating. And
Yeah.
everything carries a vibration. Your thoughts carry vibration. What you vibrate at is what you get. So if you're vibrating in poverty, if you don't know any other way, that's what is going to come around.
Yeah.
And so we do a lot of things. A lot of people come, and a lot of people, I mean, most people in my classes are not doctors. They're housewives. We have a dog walker working on dogs now. We have CEOs. We have everybody. We have therapists, a couple of chiropractors, a couple of osteopaths, different people. And a lot of them don't have any background at all. They're actually the easier ones to teach. We have a banker who's having miracles. I mean, he's probably going to stop banking soon because he's just really taking off with it. And if you don't need to have all that extra knowledge of anatomy and physiology that someone like me does, I put it all into a recipe where
Okay.
it's like baking cookies. It's either this, or this. There's only about 3 things it can be, 4 things.
Do you
And so,
provide a certification, something to say that they took your 3-day program?
yes, we did, but we don't have a name for it yet. We're still trying to come up with a name. The name is really hard.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, we get a certificate of
You're talking about the TNT, right? The TNT
yes.
program.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And so we've done like an affiliate program. So I think we have 3 people who we're referring patients to, clients to. I'm just too full. I can't keep up. I got too many people. And we're also doing these programs now where if someone's like, well, I really want to see Dr. Cahill, I'm like, well, you can't. I'm sorry. It takes months to get in. It's too hard
I
to
was
see
going
me.
to ask you, so you still do adjustments?
No,
Oh, you
don't need
don't?
to. Don't need
Okay,
to.
so you shifted from that to what you're doing now.
Completely, 100%.
Okay.
And 95% of my work is remote. I mean, 95%. I have a disc golf course in Nicaragua that I go down to every winter. I mean, even in Mesa, it's cold. I don't like the cold. I'm in
I don't
Prescott.
either.
I'm up here in
Are
Prescott.
you?
So yeah, I'm in Prescott. Yeah,
Oh,
that's where
I
we
didn't
have the
know
class.
that. Awesome.
Yeah, no, I love this little town. It's cold. It snows, and so I just came back for the class. I was in Nicaragua the last 4 months, so I just came back for the class, and then I'm jumping right on a plane and getting the hell out of here.
You going back to Nicaragua?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I have a disc golf course there. It's a
Okay.
19-hole disc golf with the frisbees, the discs.
I never played it. I've seen
Oh
it.
my. Yeah, it's all over. It's all over Mesa, Phoenix, a whole bunch of places down there. Have a ton of courses down there. And so I play every time I'm
Awesome.
down that area. Yeah, there's a ton of courses, and it's just
Yeah.
it's my hobby, and so I work down there. I have a couple of horses. I love fishing. I do surfing. My property is like 5 minutes from the ocean, so I just hang out down there in the winter and come back
Come
here.
on. Are you
Yeah,
serious?
that's the life. Hey, this is it's
Hey,
all accessible. It's all
I,
accessible. Come take my
I need
class,
to,
and I'll see you on the beach.
I need to vibrate in your level right now.
Well, we are doing, the on the call. I think you have to check my website and see the next show and tell, because I think we're only doing one more for like over a month, because one more before our class. I think it's next Wednesday, but you got to get on there. You just wouldn't believe what we're doing. You and I can just talk about it, but I showed you some. This is what it looks like remotely. But we're doing a big love cast where we're fixing hearts, we're fixing
Oh, I
minds, and
love
then we're
it.
doing a big abundance blast. And I am getting so many emails from people a month ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 days ago. I got a new house. I got a new car. I got a new job. I can't believe I found a house in Sedona, or a apartment in Sedona for half price. I mean, just crazy stuff, and this is what happens when you have this kind of knowledge. You just kind of, seeing is believing. Once you believe, that becomes faith, and when you have faith, this is just kind of how it is. I
Yeah.
just, yeah, it's really amazing. I never imagined this is what I would be doing. I mean, my clients kept pushing me. It's funny. I had a client on today who's coming to the class I haven't seen in 10 years. I fixed all of our stuff 10 years ago. And that's my philosophy also, is I don't want to see you anyhow. I mean, I want you out living your life.
Yeah.
I grew up in a chiropractic house, and my father, I saw the same people coming in year after year after year. And God bless my dad. He helped a lot of people, and all chiropractors are. All
Yes.
in this field, we're all helping people. You're in
Right.
social service. We're all helping people. Um,
Yes.
but I don't want to see people come back. I want them out living their life. So anyhow, I see her name. I'm like, Patricia. Oh my God, I haven't seen her in 10 years. And she saw me on some podcast and just went out and signed up. She was the biggest pain in the ass. she, she came on today and she said, well, Dr. Cahill, I have to, I got to say, all those years ago, I remember every time leaving your office, going home saying, I somehow got to learn it. I somehow got to learn. So I said, going home, that's all you would talk about when you came in my office. She just chewed me out from the minute she came in until the time she left, that I have to teach this. And I had a couple other clients who've done that. Sharon's out there, Radha's out there. I just thank God that they kept pushing me, because
Mm,
I was very comfortable and didn't need to do this. But once you open your mind up to it, they really, in the last, I don't know, year, but really been like, you're not, you're leaving LA. I had a big practice in Los Angeles. You're moving. You gotta consider teaching this. And once they really made that, deep into my mind, the
yeah.
angels started helping me
Oh, I
come up with
love that.
more proprietary things and means of not only accessing them, but to pass it on to you. And
Yes.
that's passing it on to you is the most difficult part. Everybody listening to this has access to angels. No one has more power over angels than anyone else. No one.
Yeah.
We all have this access.
Yes.
I'm not more special than anyone. I've been doing it longer. I have a better, clear understanding of what they're able to do. And most importantly, I'm able to just tell you very quickly how it's done. And some of it comes from my hypnosis training. Some of it comes from just an observation and
Yes.
them creating an awareness in me that I should look at this. I'm very
Right.
curious. When someone tells me something, I'm very skeptical and I'm very curious. So if I get a thought, I'll experiment with it. I'll do my own experiments with it and just be
Right.
completely from a state of curiosity where there's no bias. And that's how
Mm.
I figured this out. I figured out how to amplify their power, how you can amplify your nervous system to have more access to them. And I figured out how to
Yeah.
pass this on to you and a bunch of other stuff. But those are the
Yes.
two big ones, the big observations that I was like, okay, I'm ready to teach. And it's
That's
been
awesome.
such a joy. It's such a
Let I
joy.
have I have two questions for you. The first one is life is a miracle, right? Us being here is a miracle. But why do you think people are still having a hard time opening themselves up to this, to what we're talking about, to manifestation, to energy, to the universe? Why do you think there's still some hesitation there?
Well, I think there's a number of reasons. It's huge. Our upbringings are huge. Our mother and fathers, our family life that we come from. That's a big deal. Have you driven down the freeway lately? Have you seen any of the billboards out there? Have you turned the television on? My television is covered up with a rag. It hasn't been on in years. I don't. I do watch football. I'll admit that. Um, but I don't watch TV. I don't pay attention to what's going on out there because it's programming and everyone is programmed. We're all hypnotized. You can see this whole thing that's gone on with the pandemic, because this is mass hypnosis. I don't, and I don't want to get into all that, but this is why we're being programmed all the time. And now we're being censored. That's why you're out here. That's why I'm on
Right.
podcasts. I mean, I got to be careful because I do have a license. I know they're going to take it eventually. I really don't care because angels don't care. And you can't stop me from doing this or teaching this because this is universal knowledge that everyone deserves to have. And so people are really locked into their way of life that, they just can't open up to things because of their, the programming. It really is programming.
Mm,
And I'm no different. I
yeah.
was no different. I was very skeptical. I was very much I was going to be a chiropractor. I mean, come on, I'm going to crack backs. I'm going to I'm going to do some advanced stuff, But the first seminar I went to was an old 92-year-old man teaching touch for health, not touch for health. It was T-touch or something. I don't even remember now, but he was super advanced cat touching certain parts in the cranium. And I have used some of that. That's how I figured out how to transfer this knowledge to you. This training way back. This is probably 1998 or 2000, so over 20 years ago. And I get up. It's my first, training over and above chiropractic. I'm all excited. Oh gosh, I can't wait to see what we're going to learn. And I come rushing over to him. I was so happy. I had a couple of good questions for this old doc. He was like 95 then. I get over to him. I go, "Hey doc, I got a couple of questions for you." He says, "Hold on." Puts his hand up and he touches down by his thumb and he comes like he's kind of looking off into space like this, rubs all the way up here and he stops. And he goes, "What was your question?" I said, "What the hell was that?" And he said, "Oh, that was us. That was Cindy in North Carolina. She's having heart murmurs this morning, so I just took care of him for her." I said, "Oh, huh?" And,
Wow.
and
Wow.
yeah, wow, all right. He says, "Well, what was your question?" I said, "Question? I don't have any questions for you. I'm
Got
out of here." I got up and took. Are you kidding me? I ran out of there like a little dog who was yelled at with his tail between his legs. I was just like, "This guy's nuts. I'm out." I was no different. 2 weeks later at a professional seminar with top of the line applied kinesiologists, and I could name names, and everyone in my field would know who they are. And I see a guy out, out on the porch at break, and he's kind of paying attention to himself, looking at his book, yada yada yada. And he's doing stuff with his hands. I go over. I says, "You're treating somebody somewhere else, aren't you?" He says, "Yeah, don't tell anybody." And he left, and I saw him at lunch. I went and sat down next to him, and I said, "Hey, so tell me about this." And that was my introduction to quantum mechanics.
Wow, that's
Yeah, that's
amazing.
how I found it. I think you mentioned like 2016 or something.
Yes.
This would have been like 2000 that I
2000, well, 2006.
Yeah, 2006. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you've been into it almost as long as me. I just have delved that deeper into it. I saw him at lunch and he says, "Well, if you look at it onto a sheet of paper or onto, say like today on my call, when I really get into it, I have 20 people on with different things. I'll pull this up." And he said, "You look at it closely, you can have the same effect because the active observation changes the outcome of an experiment." And that's
Mm.
Heisenberg's principle. And so,
Okay.
fast forward a month, I was already treating people as a chiropractic student because I had a massage certificate. And a guy comes in whose mother is dying in Dallas, Texas, dying. She's waiting for a quadruple bypass in the morning if she makes it. And her oxygen was down, if I remember right, down to like 30% or something crazy. He's like, they're like, you don't even need to fly out here tonight. Come tomorrow because she probably won't even be here. That's what they told this guy. He's still actually a client of mine all these years later. So I said, well, there's this little thing. Supposedly, I had no idea what we were doing. I mean, I had what I just told you was my training. And so I
Yeah.
got out the sheet and I went to, I did some testing on him back then. I was doing the old style testing and I tracked down her liver. It wasn't her heart, it was her liver. And we worked on her
Mm.
liver and she got up at 3 o'clock in the morning, pulled all of her tubes out, feisty old lady, pulled the hoses out of her nose, got up and walked out of that hospital. And she lived another 15 years, got to see him get married and have a grandchild. Yeah. And if she had stopped smoking, she'd still be here. But I couldn't get her to stop smoking and she didn't want to, she didn't want to. And so
Yeah.
I make somebody do something they don't want to do.
Oh my goodness, that's an amazing story. I
Thank you.
also wanted to ask you about manifestation. It feels like it works for some people and not for others. I believe in manifestation, but lately I had to talk with my husband because I felt like I'm a very like positive, optimistic person, but he kind of pointed it out. He was like, well, you kind of being a little pessimist. So if that's what you want the universe to hear, you need to reword it. Like you need to be careful what you say. And so, and I asked that because you manifested your life, like what you're doing now. What techniques do you have or have you learned for us that are trying to manifest our life to this life full of joy and still doing what you want to do, but enjoying that other? Because I feel like, we're working 10, 12 hours a day and punching in, punching out, but we're really not enjoying life.
Well, enjoying life, and joy is the second most important thing in life. Love,
Yeah.
of course, is the most important thing, but the second is joy. I love you that you mentioned that because there's all these wise people out there with all these great sayings, all the Buddha, everybody, Einstein, all of them have all these great sayings. And my saying is, I'm done when there is no fun. And
I like it.
that's how my life is just going to go. And that's always been my saying. That's been my saying clear back 30 years ago. I'm done when there's no fun, because if it's not
Wow.
fun, it's not worth doing. And when you're having fun in everything you do, you're spreading joy around. And when you put a
Yeah.
smile on somebody's face, doesn't that feel good? You just
Yeah.
have some little comment, hey, old timer. And we had these two cowboys that was having breakfast this morning, and I just didn't have my camera, but I so wanted to be like, hey, let me get a picture of these cowboys. Up here in Prescott, these guys they're both probably 85, 90. They got their cowboy hats, their old Westerner jackets. One of them even had a big gun. I was just like, I didn't have my camera to get a picture, but I still was like, hey, I'm wanted in other counties. I'm not here, not here. And the guy's like, that's all right, boy. They loved it, And so anytime you have a chance to spread that joy those are opportune times to not only spread it, but to feel it ourselves. Manifestation, you got to come to my class. It's just more going on there than I'm going to be able to tell you right now. But I'm going to tell you something, and your listeners, something real easy to do. And that is, you quiet your mind, because our minds are more powerful when they're quiet. So right before you go to sleep and when you first wake up, what first you have to define what you want from the universe. If you just say you want more joy, that's totally, joy works. If you want more joy, that works. If you want more money, if you want more, I don't, I'm not somebody who's ever looked at money. I look at abundance. I prefer the vibration of abundance, because, the money's money. It's okay. But abundance means everything's great, right? Everything's always good. You don't have to worry
Yeah.
about money if you're living in a state of abundance. Um, so we'll just pick abundance. And so right before you go to sleep, you take a couple of breaths in, you relax your mind, and you can picture yourself in your home or your office, wherever you feel like your abundance comes from. And then you hear what it is that you want already happening. So you don't hope, you don't wish, you don't gosh, it sure would be nice to have that.
Yeah.
You already hear it happening. So with abundance, I hear let's see, abundance for me right now, because I'm broke, sounds like this. That's cash. That's a great big stack of cash. Oh,
I
and then
like it.
hold on a second. Here's one more. Listen. That's my money drawer closing. Bing. That's my phone with a text saying, you have an appointment, Dr. K. You know, you hear what it is that you want to happen. So if it's just more of joy, hear people
Yeah.
laughing, hear a party, hear balloons, see it. You can see things and you can hear things. Hearing is how I was taught it by an old guy. And hearing it, I think, is extremely powerful because it's already happening. And that changes the vibration. And it gets your mind out of wishing, wanting, hoping, praying. That's all coming from a place of lacking. So
Oh,
the
okay.
next stage is you got to take my class, because there's certain things that we do with morphogenic fields that really boost that power. And we're just kicking butt with this stuff. Everybody is
Yeah.
having amazing success with this. I think I mentioned, you
And
and I were
this is
talking.
the TNT class.
Yes, yeah.
Is
And
this
you're down
so?
there in Mesa. You get on my website. You need to get up here, Agnes.
No, I know. I'm actually, well, I live in Phoenix, but I work in Mesa.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You live in Phoenix, so you're even closer than Mesa.
That's true. So is the one in March your last one until you come back
No,
from Nicaragua?
we're gonna do more, but we just don't have dates yet. I think we'll have dates probably right about the time we're to. It's hard in Prescott because of the there's not as many hotels, and so we're working on dates again, and I think we're working on them in June, and again I think towards the end of the year, October, November. We want to do it while the weather's still good here, so we are doing more. We just don't have the dates yet.
Okay. Do you have a newsletter that we can sign up for to get that
There's so
information?
much there's so much free crap on that website. You
Uh,
just need to go there. I think we're even giving away a house.
Stop it.
It's a mouse house, but it's still a house.
Hey, if it's a mouse house in Sedona, I'll take it.
Yeah. You could live there with your husband. Two of you can live in a mouse house in Sedona.
There
I
you
mean, come
go.
on.
Well, he's a big guy. He's 6'4", so I don't
Oh,
know.
wow. Wow, beautiful. Well, yeah, if you go to the website, ahumanengineer.com, there is all kinds, I'm not joking, there's all kinds of free crap on there. There's a lymph video you should get. There's a recording on there you should definitely have. All the dates of the training are on there, and then there's the show and tell is on there. And so, and then I think there is a newsletter. You know what? I don't know. I just work.
I'll check.
I hired a team because I'm terrible. I barely got on here. You saw me today bumbling around trying to turn it on. I had to call from my phone to get on to the show and tell, because it's just not my gig. I don't sell stuff. I don't, it's just not part of my makeup. I train. I'm really good at training. I guarantee you, whoever is out listening, you have any inkling at all into the healing arts and you've never done anything in it, get your butt to Prescott, because I'm really good at taking complex stuff and making it easy. I wish I had a seminar like this. All these summer I've spent over $1 million in training in my
Wow.
in my career. Yeah. And I've walked out of more seminars more expensive than mine by noon the first hour.
Mm,
By noon the first day. Sorry, by noon the first day. Just like, okay,
yeah.
this is a marketing ploy. This is nothing about healing.
Yes.
And I'm not going to name those techniques, but there's so much garbage in this field. I'm not
Yes.
even going to name the stuff, but I have stripped all that away and show you stuff that you will create miracles with. It'll change your life. I mean, when you have this level of access to the angelic realm, everything changes in your life. It's absolutely amazing. And it's not, I can sit here and say that because everything changed for me once I figured out that's what was going on, that I was accessing this field.
Hmm.
This is all the graduates. I get the emails. They were on the call. They'll come onto the calls just to, talk, and they also are learning as I'm doing these treatments on people. And these are complete strangers. I've never met them before. The guy today, I even with the hernia surgery, I says, so this is the first time you talk to me, right? He says, yeah. So I have no idea what side that problem is on you, right? He says, you have no idea. I treated him. We got rid of it 100%. And then I asked him, what side is it on anyhow? I don't need to know. The angels are doing the work.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just
I
hard to
love
wrap
it.
your mind around, but everybody's had an angelic experience. They just couldn't see him.
Yeah.
So well, it was a coincidence. Oh yeah, I'm
Right.
glad that
Right.
cop stopped me, or I would have been in that 20 car pile up right up the road there.
Yeah,
you've had.
you definitely have to do it. I mean, I'm kind of like the black sheep of the family, and I've always been into this kind of stuff. And so the first time doing Reiki or having Reiki on me, I'm a Reiki 1 practitioner now, so I'm working on that level. My experience was phenomenal. But explaining that to someone else, they're like, okay, she's Agnes is just cray cray. You know what I mean? That's what they say. But then
Yeah,
like, no, like you actually have to do it to experience it, because me telling you it's just not going to do anything.
yeah. Yeah, that's why I decided to do these show and tells, and it's been a lot of work. It's a lot of time, but I don't, I love showing this stuff, and
Yeah.
you have to kind of see it, and I mean, again, we had a woman on today. She was on 2 calls ago. We got rid of 20 years of her 20 years of knee pain. She's getting ready to do a knee replacement. She's
Mm.
65, 100% gone. That was 2 weeks ago. Today she gets on and her vision is completely blurry vision. She didn't tell us about it before. Plugged nose, allergies all the time, 100% healed today. I'm like, okay, Lori, you can't come on for any more miracles. You have to, Esther's runs the show. I said, Esther, block her. Don't let her on her anymore. Uh, we can only do so much with Lori anymore. But I think,
Yeah.
and her son and his wife, I just, I wake up in a state of gratitude. I mean, I just wake up. I'm just so, I'm tired. I'm fried. I didn't even know I
Yeah.
had this today. I mean, it's hard to keep track of my schedule
Yeah.
because we're pushing this stuff out. But when you get introduced to this, it literally changes your life. You just kind of
Yes.
have trust and
Yes.
faith that everything's going to be okay, and it just seems to be.
Is there anything else that you would like to add or discuss that perhaps we didn't touch on today?
No, I don't think so, but I want to help your little dog.
You do? Can I go get them?
Sure.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, we can do that. Yep.
Okay, give me a second.
Aw.
This is my baby,
And what's his name?
Buddha.
Buddha. Oh, look, he's so cute. Oh, I can see it. Okay. So what's happening with him is his adrenal glands are locked in a facilitated state. So we're just going to quiet those down for him. Adrenal glands, of course, are fight or flight. He thinks you're going to leave him, or a big dog's going to come and bite him, or you might not come home. So, and of course, you had mentioned that Bella, his mother, is gone, and so that will trigger this sort of reaction in the adrenal glands: extreme sadness, shock, just being scared of like being left alone. That will. So you always have to tell him when you're leaving, "I'm coming back, Buddha." Right?
Yes, and when I come home, the entire community can hear him. He cries
Yeah.
because he knows I'm home.
Wow. So I start with the adrenal glands, and it feels like those are really hot. So you might want to reach out to Esther through my website, and we use a couple different types of formulas that really work well to help rebuild those for him.
Yeah.
It's up to you. You don't have to. You can do what you want to, because I'm going to really push him down the road here with this. So we start here. I'm almost done with the adrenal glands, and they're pretty bad. How old is he?
Buddha is 12.
Okay, yeah, he's been around a bit. So this has been here for a while. He's been like this a while, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're almost done here. There you go, Buddha. And then I go up the chain of the endocrine system. So animals are very much like humans. They have adrenal glands. They have they have glands, thyroid, pineal, their brains. I mean, all animals are very much like humans. They have a lot of same things go wrong with them as humans do. And so we're just gonna fix that for them, and then we're gonna
His
give
heart
him.
is calming down.
Yeah, I was
At
just gonna
first, it
say.
was going really fast.
Yeah, it's getting calmer. So that's going to calm him down. And then I'm going to go to liver, because the liver has to process all of this stuff. I teach all this in the class. Our results with animals are off the charts. Amazing. And there's his liver is better. Now we're just going to get rid of a little more tension in his body. Relieve his stress. And these are all the times that you've had to leave him, and him just being scared. We're just clearing out those blips that were created by that experience for him.
I love him so much.
I know, I can see, and he loves you too, little Buddha. You're so cute.
When I come home, I greet Buddha, and my husband is like, "What am I, chopped liver?"
Yeah. Buddha gets all the love. I don't blame him. Beautiful dog. I think that's really gonna make a big difference. You'll know tomorrow. It'll take a day for that to clear through and make sure he has lots of water. And if you're so inclined, you can reach out to Esther and say, hey, my dog is Buddha. Dr. T treated it. He said he should have something for his adrenal glands and liver.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a powder you put on his food.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that will really help him live longer and happier and help keep him calm. But I
Yeah.
think you're going to notice a big difference just from that. I mean, animals respond so fast to this work. It's amazing. I have so many animal stories. That's a whole podcast. Horses, owls, turtles, dogs, cats, snakes, everything. It's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing.
You're
It's
an
just a
amazing
vibration.
guy.
Yeah, it's just amazing. It's an amazing vibration. That's all it is.
Yeah, I'm so glad that we connected. And I didn't realize you were here in Arizona. Well, you're about to leave us to go to the beautiful place of Nicaragua. Do you speak
Not for a
Spanish?
month. See, poquito, poco, poco. But yeah, of course you have to. They don't speak any English in Nicaragua.
Spanish is my first language.
Oh, it is. Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was I was born in Puerto Rico.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, it's embarrassing. I study all the time, and it's something that's just hard to wrap your mind around. Another language is really hard for some people. Other people get it really easy, and
Yeah.
so and plus I've probably since I've been going there, I've been studying. I always study stuff, and so I always have an excuse to study the body. And
Yes.
it's no excuse. I am getting better. I understand it a lot better than I can speak it, so that's really been
Oh, that's
beneficial.
good.
Yeah, it helps. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you again for coming on to the Level of Tribe podcast. Please provide your social media and contact information so we can start following you.
Awesome. Yeah, it's all through the website. I'm pretty sure everything is on there. I mean,
Okay.
they haven't told me anything else. They're like, everything's on there. TikTok, Instagram,
Okay.
Facebook, all that stuff is on there. I haven't seen any of it, so it's a little embarrassing, but it's just not my
Well, that's
forte.
good. You trust
Well, I
your
have a great
staff.
team. I have a great
Yeah.
team. Jamie, Linda, Esther, Honey, all of them, Courtney, there's a whole bunch of Kiko's out there. A whole bunch of them are just doing great stuff. And, if they can make me look good, I mean, it's unbelievable. It's been a real
Well,
joy. Thank you so much for having
yes.
me on,
Thank
Agnes.
you so
Oh,
much.
you're so welcome. You're so welcome. I think that the little things that we did are really you're gonna see some changes that really you're gonna be like, huh, that's different. That's really different. So
Yes.
the angels shined a nice light on you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening. Please visit the website at www.leveluptribes.com. And please subscribe to the podcast and share with your family and friends. Be sure to tune in to our next episode. Catch you all next time, my beloved tribes.